Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Stoke Your Creative Fire Summit.
Yes.
I'm Joni Joan White Hansen, and I'm here to introduce two of my bestest friends, Toni Bergins and Joy Okoye. We spend a lot of time together, but it's really fun that I get to interview them for this amazing summit. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about them, and they're going to tell you a lot more about themselves because they do so much. Toni is the founder and creator of JourneyDance. She's an artistic alchemist and passionate catalyst. She's created so many programs, one of them being The Remedy. She's created teacher trainings. We have well over 1,000 teachers already trained. And she's touched many, many people's lives. And she has got, I just have to tell you about her second EP of original music is forthcoming. And she's taking her one-woman show on the road in 2023. We can't wait.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Joni.
Yeah, you bet. And Joy is she's part of the JourneyDance senior teaching at Kripalu. She's also the co-creator of the JourneyDance expressive arts programming facilitating, and she's on the facilitating team, which I am as well. She also is co-creator of The Remedy, and she's many other things. She's a yoga teacher. She's a sound healer. She's wise and wonderful. And she just, like, talk about creative. These two are it because they come up with so many programs and so many ideas. And it's, how did that feel to hear about yourselves? You two have been interviewing many people. How did it hear to
It feels good. It feels amazing.
Great.
It feels wild.
It feels like truth because it's been a long time, 27 years in here.
Right. Many years. And so many people too that you've touched. But we're going to start off by asking you, how has creativity helped you to heal your own life personally? So Toni, why don't we start with you?
Wow. Well, I love creativity because it's all I know. It's really my connection to spirit, to the universe, to myself, to my heart, to my emotions. Creativity is it, for me. So when I touch the dance floor and I listen to music and I get to celebrate everybody else's creations, I weave it together into this thing that becomes a healing journey. And that's my creativity. That's like my first language of creativity is music, movement, and visualization. And it really just changed my life at a point where I really did not know where else to turn. I had been on the therapy route for many years as a young person with lots of different kinds of trauma that I'm working through, as we all are, and generational and all that other stuff. And I was doing really well with the therapist, but there was something missing, and it was the body. It was my connection to myself. So when I came to the dance floor, it was like, oh, this is where I live. And it's such a creative force. Like, I feel like it's never the same, even though it's always like I'm moving. Yes, that's the same, but it's never the same. It's never the same twice. That's my quick answer for how creativity has changed my life.
Yeah. So you've really tapped into your own experience and then use creativity the whole way.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I literally, if I'm not like songwriting or making characters or writing, in my journal poetry or whatever I'm doing, it's always some kind of expressive art, creative situation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I've painted by your side, but I'm certainly not a painter like you. But, I have tried pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Masks, psychodrama, you name it. I love it.
Thank you so much. So Joy, what about you? How has creativity helped heal your own life personally? What's your story with that?
Well, I think that ever since I was very little, I had a very big imagination. And I think that I've learned how many people are not tapped into their imagination, because I have found that this is the way that I operate in the world. It's just through always creating something exciting, never getting to that stagnant place of if there's a challenge, I want to do it differently. And I think that was the beauty of like finding JourneyDance, is that I was like, oh my God, I'm in the room full of weirdos in that way. That we have always been in that place of using the body, using the space of imagination and creativity, of getting out of the box. And I think that really has been such a wonderful exploration with other people. And knowing that there are so many people out here using their imagination, using connection to find new solutions, new answers. And we're not alone in that creativity bubble.
Yeah.
So
Beautiful. You made me think of something when you were talking. I think one of the things that I didn't realize, which is really, hard to say, but I think they say we teach most what we need to learn, right? So one of the things that was really hard for me was I learned to disembody and to escape the body and to escape emotions and escape feelings and escape the difficult stuff. I was definitely empathic. I had such overload. I was taking in everybody else's. I didn't even know how to have my own energy separate from my family of origin or other people. I just was like a vortex. And through the dance, like I literally created my own process work to heal me. Like I started with embodiment. First thing I got to do was roll around on the floor because I got to get into my body and feel my own container. Then I got to awaken the energy and so on and so forth. But I'm not going to go through the whole JourneyDance practice, but the things that I've done along the way where I have a conversation with my inner parts on the dance floor. I'll talk to my inner child. I'll talk to my higher self. I'll talk to my inner guide. And like, I'll have conversations that I need to have in meditation, but I'll do it while dancing. And that to me is the creativity that I bring to this world is the sort of a new twist on the hypnotic container, music, movement, process work, all woven into one. And that is like my true, I think that's why I came to this life,
Yeah.
help people.
I would just affirm that too, knowing you so well and dancing with you. In fact, I'm just going to put a plug in that tonight when we were dancing, we were doing a teacher training. When we were doing the High Priestess, and it actually occurred to me, because I've danced it so many times with you. Sometimes you're leading it, sometimes I'm leading it. I'm like, Toni had this. She like created this from an experience. She either hears the music or whatever, or has the experience and then finds a song. And it did occur to me tonight. So thank you for sharing that, because that expressive creative process that you've had has reached so many people.
Yes.
Yeah,
I know. I taught at Kripalu. I mean, I'm still teaching there occasionally, but I was teaching there I've been teaching there for more than 27 years. I started when I was 25, 23, as a sub. And then it was like my laboratory of creativity. That's what it was. I didn't know that until now, but it was my laboratory for creativity. So thank you for asking that.
Yeah. Yeah. So Joy, do you have anything else you wanted to add with that?
I was thinking about what you were saying tonight when we were dancing. I was thinking about how easy it is to drop in to that space of just getting into a process or getting into working through an emotional response. And how, because of having so many years doing this work, you can just come into a solution or into an experience and look at it differently. And I was actually doing the dance, doing the process, and thinking about it at the same time, thinking about how wonderful it is to have a way to not always get stuck, to actually move through something and come up with new ideas and new ways of seeing the problem or seeing the challenge really from a different angle. And how we can do that creatively in our lives, and how that has been such a gift, because we talked about receiving a gift tonight. And so there's a lot of honoring today with the practice of JourneyDance, and then even more, and what we're doing more, how it's expanding and expanding, which is so exciting to me.
I want to speak about that.
Talking about it.
the remedy, which is a process that Joy and I co-created during COVID, because we were just in a place where we needed more connection with people, has really changed my life personally. I literally have a new channel for writing, and I really don't do it when I'm not at the remedy. Like when I'm not at the remedy, I write. If I go into a silent space for a few days, I can get to that channel, but we can drop into it in a 30-minute movement series. And all of a sudden I'm writing the best, like not the best, that's not the right word, the most evocative, like life-changing for me material. And every person in the remedy is creatively in the process with us, writing their wisdom or their process or their pain or their sadness or their grief or their anger or their, they're writing it out of their bodies. It's literally the expressive arts. There's nothing to me better than releasing, because otherwise, what you said, how do you not get stuck? How do we not get stuck? We have to be in flow. And the way we be in flow is health, right? If we have a river and it's stagnant, it's going to get funky. That's what happens to the body, the mind, everything. If we have a place to process and release, and to me, creativity, there's nothing better than doing it creatively. I mean, I've become like a wild songwriter. The other night I was in a fight with some family members, and I said, you know what? I'm not going to fight anymore. I'm going to stop fighting right now. I'm just going to stop, and I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to hammer it out on the piano. And I hammered it out, and I wrote a whole new song from my emotions, from my guts, and I'm going to go record it. I mean, that's the crazy part. That's where I go a little bit to the, the other side of expression, where I want everyone to hear it at some point down the lane, if it becomes like important medicine for other people. Otherwise, it's just for me, right? We keep the things that are for us, and then some things become medicine for other people, and we want to share them. So that's what I think, that creativity is such an incredible force. You could do hundreds of songs and only share one song with your friend because that's what they needed to hear that day.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we hear a lot about today. Oh my goodness, I want to heal the world. I want to find my place in this world. I want to be a part of the solution. But there's a lot of questioning, a lot of how do I do that? And what I have come to understand is that really happens when I'm fully me, when I'm fully expressed, when I'm not shut down, when I can activate the thing that my birthright is, to be here. And in that creative space, how do I show up? How can I show up? And the more I show up fully expressed and creative, then it allows someone else to do so. And that's what I love about this work and what we all do here, and what the people in the summit are doing, is they're saying, I'm showing up fully in my self-expressed. I'm going to shine. I'm going to create. I don't give a shit what anybody else thinks. This is my mark in the world, not in a selfish way, but this is what I came here to be.
Yes.
This is what I came here to do.
That.
And this is how we're going to heal the planet, heal the world, heal us first.
Yes. And
here.
I'm going to add to that, because that is what empowerment is. Like, right. We talk about it in JourneyDance. We talk about how resilience without joy is just like suffering, but resilience with joy, which to me is creativity, imagination, connection with other people, is empowerment. Because like after we do your healing journey, you take your own healing journey. We don't take you on the healing journey. You take yourself on the healing journey. And next thing you know, you're like, oh my God, I'm so empowered. I just did this thing, and I expressed, and I told my story, and I processed so much. And that to me is what healing is. So healing, the word healing has gotten so just all discombobulated, because it's not just one thing. We're not just putting a Band-Aid on your wound and like you're covering it up, and then a few years later it'll be done. No, it's not how it works. We have to process things, tell your story in so many different ways. I've told my story to the dance floor hundreds of times, but then one point I'm like, okay, you know what? That story has been told enough times. Like I'm done. That means I've processed it so much. I didn't even know it wasn't even a problem for me anymore. Healing is a journey of this discovery of when it's like the pain is no longer there. I've healed it. But it's not like we just suddenly say, okay, I'm going to do a ritual. I'm going to heal that. It's done. It's a choice every day, whether we pick up the story, carry it around for some more. And some things some things need to be processed for a long time. Some things are not just easy fixes like, okay, I'm going to change my mindset. Some things are like, okay, I need to process this. This is a deep, deep thing. It's a pattern. I have to unpack it. I have to uncover it. I have to figure out how I'm going to live with this and live fully, not like cut off in so many different ways.
Right.
Absolutely.
Beautifully said. Are there other things, because that was my second question of how you use creativity with others, as part of your work in the world? Are there other things besides the music and obviously the dance too? But you explained it pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you like two examples. Like a friend of mine who was suffering deeply, I won't go into the whole story. I wrote a song for her and sent it to her. I mean, that was like, to me, the most powerful moment of creativity I ever had with another person. But then I have a whole practice where I take people, on a journey of, I call it the embodied transformations method, which I did call it that for the last 15 years or so. But it's a method of taking people through their deepest, transformational goals, I'll say. And sometimes that means healing the mother wound, healing some wound with a male archetype. I call it, the male archetype wound. There's just so many things, and we can heal them in a creative way. We're like, we're writing, we're moving, we're dancing, we're making a story, we're using the body, we're using the voice. It's a totally different kind of working in the world. And I think the world is ready for it. We all know that trauma needs to be moved through the body. So, that's how I work with creativity with other people. And one of the things that I'm recently creating along with Joy again, and Joan has helped us a whole bunch, is creating a one-person show after doing a whole healing journey. So we do this healing journey called Turn Your Angst into Art. And we are so excited that we're going to be offering it in the new year. It's extremely exciting to us. We've done it before. We've had incredible shows that we call them shows, but they're not shows. They're showcases of healing. And they have song, they have dance, they have story, they have character, they have just like the person, whoever you are, gets to be all the parts of you. You don't have to stuff things away. We find a way to bring it all in, to be a whole, to become whole, to feel that feeling of wholeness.
Yeah.
Through creativity.
And I think a lot of what I see in this work, if it's on the dance floor, if it's coaching someone, if it's singing, if it's in spaces where we can explore together different ways of being, and is that we're engaging in the whole person to embody the whole self instead of this abandonment of self. It's the self embodiment, and I love this idea. I think that is what brought me to working with my body again, my voice, and working in a way that can open it and reclaim it. And with the work of Angst to Art, you see this when they're creating, they're coming into their story, owning their story, taking it from the inside out, and really evaluating what is my personal medicine, what is my gold from all of this.
Absolutely.
And I don't think that can happen without them coming home and really understanding what a creative portal they are in every aspect of their life. And so, yes, we can talk about the dance and we can talk about the performance aspect, but really what this is about bringing home that person back to their creative portal inside to be able to activate their life in any direction they want to.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a very important piece of using from creativity to survival to creativity to what do I want to bring forth? How do I want to thrive? So
absolutely. I mean, that is the whole purpose of all of it. The truth is, we could do a million things in our lifetime, right? We could do a million things and we could never feel fulfilled. We could achieve financial success. We could have, the exact right amount of kids and have the exact right car and all that other stuff. But it's like, if we don't feel a sense of like true self-love, and I will tell you, that has been my, my greatest journey, was that I came from a place where I inherited and copied and probably, perpetuated a lot of self-hatred and self-abuse from all kinds of, from childhood trauma to like disordered eating to, body stuff, all the different wounds and stuff that I could talk about for days on end. But to go for the gold and say that going in and discovering who I am and bringing that forth fully has really helped me fall in love with myself. And that's the gift that I want every person to feel. Like, I want every person to be able, I know it sounds like a crazy thing to say, but I want every person to end the inner violence, because I really believe that inner violence perpetuates external violence and just keeps the collective moving in that way. So when we can say, okay, I really matter. I came here for a reason. I love myself. I'm going to love my body. I'm going to do my best to, create self-care. And then I'm going to express my gold, what you said, Joy, like mining that hero's mythic journey and saying, okay, this is what happened to me. And now because of that, I made all these choices and here's my gold. Here's my medicine. And I want to share that with you to inspire other people to feel like they have a shot to feel good. That's all it is. At the end of the day, we're going to say, what did you do with your life? And when I lay on my deathbed, I want to say, oh my God, I did this, I did that. I tried everything and I had a great time. I don't want to say like, I made this much money and I left this much to my kids. Like I love my kids, but like, that's not what, like the goal is to me. I mean, of course it'd be great for everyone to, be successful and all that stuff, but to really like to say, wow, I loved my life. Like I had some love in my life, or I loved at least this part of my life. You know, so many people are struggling so much right now. We're trying to find these little like safe havens, these little oases of love.
Right.
And that's really what I want to create through my music and through JourneyDance and through all the programs that we do and our own creativity.
Yeah, it's like to sing that song that hasn't been sung or hasn't been, to bring that voice out, to bring the dance out, to bring the
Yes.
story out. Yeah, it's so beautiful.
I wrote
So
a song about it.
exciting.
Want to hear it? I'm just kidding. Remember
Yes,
that famous line? Oh,
of course.
right. I did actually write a little song for this moment to share with everybody. And just to do like a little bit of sharing with all of you. I'm going to switch mics.
Yeah, what a treat.
I'll just do a little snippet of it so you can hear. This is a really tender moment for me. And when I have experiences that really open my heart, I like to write about them. And my album that I'm recording with the Brothers Corin, who we interviewed, is in a couple of weeks. It's called Heal My Heart. Your heart is at the center, in the center of the labyrinth, hidden behind the walls, waiting for you. Grandmother of all told me my secrets. She said, you are the maze and I am the key. But your heart is breaking open. I know it's feeling hard, but you can do it, my love. Just let down your guard and follow me. Follow me. Follow me. Follow me. Follow me. I'll sing you more of it another time.
I started singing back up.
You got the JJs here.
All singers here. I wanted to share because I want people to remember that, when your heart breaks open, it's really hard. Then you get the benefit of having an open heart. It's such a complexity, and that's what creativity does for me. Like I can't even imagine being anyone else than who I am now. I used to want to be somebody else all the time, and now I just want to be me.
Yeah.
And that's what creativity does for me. So I hope that, you'll come and join us for some creative endeavors. Yes, thank you.
Sounds incredible. Any last words,
gosh,
Joy?
Yeah, I love follow me, and that's really what this is about. It's like coming to me and following that inner guide, that the inner one that knows, and trusting yourself. And I love the practice of that, of whatever the practice is, to come to that place of really trusting yourself to find whatever it is you need in that moment and loving yourself. I mean, I really think this life journey is about experience and love and enjoyment and pleasure. And how can we do that if we're not connected to our own soul?
Honey, I love pleasure. We could talk about that for hours.
Yeah.
There's comedy too in all of this. So I don't want to take ourselves too seriously. So we're not contained. I'm Barbara. Nice to meet you, everybody. Barbara Greenbaum. And anyway, when we do all this JourneyDance stuff, I have to have my glasses on because Barbara wears glasses. But the point is, when we do all this stuff, this creativity stuff, we got to have a sense of humor. We got to, because we're going to be handling some intense material. And I know Toni understands, you shed a skin many, many times, you get raw. So you want to keep it nice and creamed up and soft and smooth. So we don't go so heavy. We start slow. We ease you in, it's a nice process. It's good. It's good. You'll love it. This is so fun. Anyway. So, Barbara just had to pop in and say hi. She's part of my one woman show. Because Barbara is my alter ego that goes on a spiritual journey and, wants to change her life. She's just constantly seeking. She studies everything known to man. And I like to spoof her because she's me on this quest, the quest. And really the healing is right here, coming back and finding our own, heart and our own creativity.
And you'll definitely want to hear what Barbara has to say about stoking your creative fire summit. I mean, she has something to say about everything.
Oh my God, honey. You met her at a couple of the other interviews. I don't have my full getup out here in the studio, but oh my God, I love the Stoke. I like the Stoke things, let me tell you. All right, we'll talk about that later. Okay.
Oh, it's so exciting.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so much for
so
interviewing us,
much.
Joan.
Thank you so much,
Oh,
Joe.
yeah, my
Tony.
honor. And what an amazing program and what an amazing summit that you've been hosting. So thank you so much.
You're so welcome. So everybody, if you're watching us tonight, this is actually the JourneyDance teacher training team. Joan has been with me for 15 years. She's one of my dearest friends in the world. She has her own creative process called Dancing Your Soul Art. She's a painter, incredible painter. There's one of her paintings back there, and dancer and mover and deeply part of our whole nonviolent communication teacher. She's just been helping us in so many ways grow. And, you know, Joy, because she's been on all the interviews, and we do the remedy. And we just I want to say one thing about creativity. And, you know, we look at other people who say, oh, they're so creative, I could never do that. That's not true. That's absolutely untrue. Like, I literally draw stick figures, and, you know, I have my own areas where I feel like I'm not creative. And when we do our creativity, it's not about being good at it or anything like that. It's about expression, right? So it takes time to fall in love with your own creativity. But one of my dreams is that every one of you falls in love with your own creativity. So, oh my God, I love my voice, or I love my story. I know it's a lot to ask. I love my body. I love how it moves. I love the shapes that I make. Even if I do it a silhouette dance, like, you know, we can do anything with creativity. So I just want to invite you along on a journey with us, whether you come to a JourneyDance or you come to the Remedy in December, or you come and join us for the Turn Your Angst into Art program, and you make your own, you go on a healing journey with us, an epic mythic adventure, which it certainly is. And I feel so honored to have Joy by my side, and we'll do this, and we'll be seeing you soon.
Yes.
So
Fantastic.
excited.
Thank you so much. Let's do a moi, and we'll do a final ending. So thank you for joining us for the Stoke Your Creative Fire Summit. It's been real.
Woohoo.
Here we go.
And I didn't forget. Woohoo!
Oh, love it. Love it. Love it.